Hello and welcome back to Growing with Plot 21. If you're new here, my name is Mark. It is the 10th of January. It's currently -5 degrees here in Manchester at the moment. So extremely cold. We've had a week or 2 weeks of snow, ice, frost, freezing weathers. So I've not been able to get to the plot. I did do a snow day video, I think last week, just to show you how much snow we had here at the plot, so I've not really had much time to get out there to do anything. So I thought, as it's officially the first proper week in January, it'd be good to let you know what you can start sowing in January, and also what I'm going to be sowing in January. So first of all, let me show you how I keep all my seeds. So I keep my seeds in this little container. You open it up, and then it's got nice little cassettes in it, and I put all my seeds in them. I haven't labelled them, so I do need to label them. That's one job that I need to do. So I'll obviously label them like brassicas, herbs, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's how I store all my seeds. So I have a list of what you can sow in January, and also what I'm sowing in January. And we'll have a little chat about things, so you can get going. Most things you can sow on the windowsill. Some things you can sow outdoors directly. Some you can sow in the greenhouse. Obviously, I'll let you know where you'll be sowing everything, or where you can sow everything when we get to it. So the first thing that you can start sowing from seed in January is onions. Obviously, if you look at the Great Onion Growing Challenge videos, obviously the giant onion, sorry, not the Great Onion Growing, the Giant Onion Growing Challenge. I don't know why I keep calling it great. The Giant Onion Growing Challenge that Pete is hosting at the moment. I'll put a link down to Pete's channel below. So we've been sowing the Elsay and the Kelsay giant onions. So they're all been sown. It's been about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe even longer. So go check out the Giant Onion Growing Challenge playlist, hashtag GOGC2425, and you can see how I'm getting up to with the onions. But you can also sow some spring onions. So I've got one that are already opened. These are from Wilco, spring onion ramrod here. And I've also got ones that my dad sent me, which is long white Ishikura spring onions. And then I also got some onions from Ali at My Rusty Garden, and these are Redbeard Scallion onions, West Coast seeds. So you can sow your onions off now. So you can sow you want to be sowing them indoors, in trays, and then when they're like a few inches high or something, then you can start to look at sowing them outdoors. I've never had any luck with spring onions or normal onions from seed. So we'll see. Like the giant onions are doing okay. They're roughly about maybe 4 inches high or something now. They are drooping a little bit. I've tried to stand them up. I've tried to keep airflow around them. But we'll just keep going and see how they go. So obviously onions on a windowsill or in a propagator with a heat map underneath, if you can, just to get them germinated, to get things cracking along. Second thing you can sow in January is your brassicas. So the brassicas, so I do have some red drumhead cabbages. I've got 2 out in the greenhouse now. They're a couple of inches tall at the moment, so I've moved them out to the greenhouse. I will be sowing some more. And also I'll be re-sowing my all year round cauliflowers. They just didn't do anything at all. So we'll just give them a try and see how they get on. But obviously you can also do broccoli and other cabbages as well. I am going to get some more seeds. Savoy cabbage I want to do, and a couple of other cabbages I want to do. So I think January, February, March is the best time to start getting your brassicas out so they can be ready for the season. So the next thing you can do is chilies and peppers. So I've got some Vindaloo chili pepper seeds from Seacraft. They came in the December box, so I'll be trying these. I've never ever grown chilies at all, so I will give it a go. Obviously they do need heat and they do take a very long time to grow, so propagator, heat map, windowsill, etc. to get them going, and then potentially a heated greenhouse, a polytunnel, or a greenhouse that's in direct sunlight. And I'm also going to try some peppers. Again, I've never grown any peppers, but I was watching Danny's video, the Grow Up channel, and he's doing King of the North bell peppers. So I'm going to see if I can get some of them and start them before so well. So that'll be good to do. And then we've got broad beans. Now, obviously, I sowed my broad beans out in October, November time, and they've done nothing at all. Now, I've always sowed them around that time. Well, I say always, I only sowed them last year and they worked fine. So I don't know what's happened this year. So I will re-sow them again, but this time I'm going to sow them in deep module trays. So you want to be taking some big, deep module trays to get them some root system so that they can get them going. So the ones I'm going to be sowing, which I sowed last year, are the RHS broad bean, the Imperial Green Long Pod. So I'll be sowing these again. They did really, really well. They just took a very long time, so it may just be they're stalling a bit. And when I finally get to the plot to start doing some more jobs, they'll start to pop up out of the soil. But we'll keep an eye and see how they get on. And with the broad beans, I will, before putting them into module trays, I will soak them overnight and see if that gives them a bit of a boost to get going. And you can also sow sweet peas. So I've never sown sweet peas at all. Ali at Myra's Garden keeps reminding me to try and sow my sweet peas. So I need to get some sweet pea seeds, and then I will get them out. You can sow them consecutively from January, February, March onwards. January, February, you can do them indoors to give them a head start, and then March onwards you can do them outside directly to bed. People do sweet pea teepees. I'm thinking of maybe having some sort of climbing structure at the side of the shed so that they'll grow up the side of the shed, and then maybe do a little teepee as well in some of the areas that I'm not using for growing, and just to help with get the pollinators coming to the plot and everything. So yeah, sweet peas, definitely get your sweet peas going. It's nice to sow and grow flowers as well, because you need the pollinators in the plot. So it's not all about the vegetables. So think about what will bring the bees and the pollinators to the plot. Next thing you can sow, and which I'm going to be sowing, is spinach. So I've got again from Wilco a spinach Lazio F1. You can sow outdoors from February. I'm going to sow, depending on space, I'm going to sow most of these indoors. I don't know how long this cold spell is going to last, so obviously I'm thinking season is going to be delayed a little bit, because obviously everything is frozen at the moment. But if we get a head start earlier on indoors, if you've got the space, then you can get them straight outside and the season could begin as normal. So that's my plan. I just need to work out which windowsills I can use without annoying people, and which space I can use as well. So that's another one that I'm going to sow. And also lettuces. So you can sow lettuces this time of year as well. So I'm going to sow the all year round lettuce. Give them a go again. I've tried them last year, didn't do nothing. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong at all. They always talk about outdoor sowing, but I think again I'm going to try them indoors. Indoor sowing and see how it goes. Like, I've got the grow light heat map structure up in the attic, so I might expand upon that and have another outdoor, another grow light heated section as well, so then at least I can grow a bit more things without having to worry about windowsills and everything. But obviously be mindful of growing things indoors with heat and lights, is because they may get too leggy. So obviously get them maybe close to the light, then bring them down, and then as soon as they get to a certain height, 4, 6 inches, 5 inches, you want to get them outside. So kind of plan how are you going to need them to then transplant them outside? You can also sow basil, kale and beetroot all into modules indoors or in greenhouses and then plant out into the ground. I think I'll do some basil. I don't know about kale. I don't really eat kale. If I've got any kale seeds, I might just put them out. But I think this year is going to be about what we eat. I don't want to be too experimenting, because when I have experimented, things just don't seem to work. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Beetroot, I will try again. I've never had any luck with beetroot. I do like beetroot, but again, I've had no luck with beetroot at all. And then we have also got some, you can do aubergine indoors or in greenhouses. So the aubergines that I'm going to start growing is the Bonica F1 from Seacraft. Again, these are from the December box, so they will be going indoors and seeing how they go. And I will be starting, and I've never done ever from seed, strawberries. So the Mignonette strawberries from Seacraft. So I will be sowing these and seeing how we get any luck from strawberries. I think with these ones, I'll sow them indoors and then I'll get some like hanging structure outside. Same with the spinach. I think I'll use some hanging structures outside at the house so that it's close by. I can keep an eye on them and see how they get on. So that's what I'm sowing in January. What are you sowing in January? Have you started sowing your seeds yet? Have you planted anything out? Have you got anything in polytunnels? Let me know how things are getting on with you guys, with yourselves in January. Hope the weather falls. Hope it's not too frosty and snowy for you all. Hope you all stay safe. And you've been watching Growing with Plot 21.